Hey, Phantomaniacs! Welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. A special bonus, really, because I already have my two reviews for the week done, loaded up, ready to go. But today it is Trek Tuesday because this brand new classic Star Trek movie series, Admiral James T. Kirk figure from Playmates from the brand new Star Trek Universe line arrived today. Uh, I don't usually do toy reviews at 10:30 at night, especially after working a 12-hour shift that I got up at 3:30 in the morning for, so please bear with me. But I was so excited about this. I've been so stoked about this line that I'm going to crack open a Romulan ale, and we are going to review this figure right now. So I'm so stoked for this. One, because it's a new toy line, new aesthetics, completely new stuff, and you guys know I love opening up something that's brand new and different. But also because just it's exciting to have Trek toys again. I love Star Trek. Just over the years, it has been kind of head to head with Star Wars for me because I grew up with both of them. Uh, my mom raised me watching both. I saw all of the Star Trek films in the theater. Now, granted, I was like 3 when I saw a motion picture, and I'm sure I slept through it just like everybody else did. But Wrath of Khan is one of my earliest memories, seeing that movie when I was, I guess, about 6 years old. And I have desperately wanted good Wrath of Khan toys my entire life. The closest we have come is Diamond Select. I wasn't a huge fan of their Star Trek figures, and certainly the way that they released their Wrath of Khan figures as retailer exclusive. So my hope here is that I'm sorry I keep bumping this. Like I said, I've been up since 3:30 this morning. It is now 10:30 at night, and I'm so excited for this. It came from Amazon. These are available. Are going to be available everywhere. They're showing up in some Target stores. I actually have Khan and Spock, as well as the Enterprise and the new Phaser, pre-ordered from Target. I had Kirk pre-ordered, but he popped up in stock on Amazon for $12.99, which is $3 less than the standard retail price. So I ordered it, and here it is. Enough talk. Let's take a look at, first of all, the packaging. Now, this is reminiscent of the packaging from the '90s Playmates figures, uh, but it is a little smaller, definitely more square. The figure is centered on the card rather than off to the side, which is kind of traditional. Looks pretty good. The card back is sturdy-ish. It's just thick enough for retail. I would like it a little thicker, but this is a toy, and I'm probably going to say this several times during this review. As much as Playmates knows, yes, adult collectors want new Star Wars toys. Uh, this is a toy, and it is packaged, marketed as such. So this is, as I said, Admiral James T. Kirk with galactic accessories, a Type 2 phaser, a Starfleet wrist communicator, captain's log, and bonus, a Star Trek movie action base. Now, I don't know how much of a bonus that really is, but whatever. Uh, you can see the nice little logo on the side here, which I'm guessing this new packaging, each one is going to have the relevant kind of new design logo type thing, which if you'll notice, how disgusting is that? The Wrath of Khan has the Starfleet chevron behind the ear thing, which I know there's a technical name for it, and it actually says it on the Khan figure, which I will be reviewing here as soon as I get it. But how disgusting is that? That's what they landed on to be the symbol for Wrath of Khan. But also fantastic. I remember seeing this in the theater and my mother going, oh, at that scene, which, again, as everybody did. So, looks good. On the back of the card, very, very traditional toy packaging. Lots of great stuff. First of all in one language on the back here. Very interesting. Collect the Star Trek heroes and villain as featured in the Star Trek movies, because there is only one villain, so this is technically correct grammar. Admiral James T. Kirk, Captain Spock, and Khan Noonien Singh. And these two, like I said, as soon as I get these, I'll be reviewing them as well. And you've got up here descriptions of the accessories. A Starfleet risk communicator allows Admiral Kirk to stay in consistent contact with the Enterprise while conducting away missions. Captain's Log, a portable electronic device for recording personal log entries during Starfleet missions. A Type 2 phaser. With various power settings, this versatile handheld weapon will disrupt or destroy the molecular energy in any target. And finally, your Starfleet action base. Stand him up or plug him into the base. Khan is always ready for action. So clearly, this has been cut and pasted from Khan to every other figure. I wonder if Spock will also say Khan is ready for action. Oh, another thing to note about this video, I noticed there's a new setting in my updated camera of 60 frames per second. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to find out. If it's a bad thing, I'll never do it again. Oh, this is funny. We've also got a Q code. That's fantastic. And in just a second here, I'll stop and find out exactly what that does, and I'll let you guys know. And then we've got a Clip and Collect Bio, a traditional file card, a nice little shot of William Shatner right there. And this is James Tiberius Kirk. He's a human. He is an Admiral. His assignment, Commanding Officer, USS Enterprise, NCC 1701, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Seeking vengeance on James T. Kirk, superhuman tyrant Khan hijacks a starship, steals the Genesis device, and sets a deadly trap for the crew of the Enterprise. I would like to have a toy of the Genesis device. So anyway, packaging looks really nice. Bright colors, very Star Trek-y. It's traditional, but also new. The only problem is that it came in the box like that. And as you can see, barely glued onto the card. So, I was mentioning before how the card back was sturdy-ish. Obviously, this is a problem, and Playmates needs to address this, because these will not survive at retail with barely any glue on the blister. Although the one side seems to be glued fairly nicely. So that one guy who commented on one of my videos, hey, you should open it with a razor blade. Well, guy, this should make you happy. I don't have to tear the card apart like a child, as is my want. All right, so let's get the figure out of here. Take a look at Admiral James T. Kirk. We'll pop those accessories out, get them out of the way. We'll take a look at them in a second. Like I said, I desperately, my entire life, have wanted figures of the Enterprise crew, basically the cast of Wrath of Khan, and it just hasn't happened in an easily collectible, feasible manner. And I'm very, very hopeful that Playmates is going to make that happen. So Trek fans, get out there and buy these so that we can get more. And you also, additionally, in this first wave of Star Trek Universe figures, as this line is collectively known, they also have characters from Next Generation, Discovery. Is that it? It might just be Next Generation and Discovery for right now. Well, he's a pretty good little figure. Okay, so let's take a look at that portrait, and this is where it comes in again. This is a toy. It is possible that larger scale, fancier adult collectibles could come along later on. But as far as toys go, this is a nice portrait of William Shatner, I think. Looks good. The paint is solid. That head is on a single ball joint. So not a ton of posability, but, swivels fine and has a little bit of side-to-side motion. His uniform actually looks fantastic. The colors are very distinct. All of the paint, we've got a little missed spot right here at the bottom of the chevron. You can see the gold doesn't go all the way down to the tip, but otherwise, like, the paint apps are pretty nice. I mean, look at the belt buckle, the belt paint, the piping up here, uh, the badge on the little strap, the little silver portion right here. The collar looks great. So it's, I'm going to call it high quality for a toy. Gosh, that is actually, I thought that was a missed spot of paint, but that is actually something on the uniform right there that I've never noticed. Now, I've noticed this white cuff piece right here, this rank. I believe that's a rank demarcation. But this little piece, I've never noticed that before, but it's there. It's painted. It looks great. Articulation wise, and proportionally, he's great. Now, size wise, Playmates did an interesting thing because oh man, I just dropped my measuring tape on the floor. I got to retrieve it because it is important with a brand new toy to determine the size of this thing. So he stands right at 5 inches tall, which is a weird scale, but it is close to the scale of the original Playmates figures, and you can see proportionally the difference here. This guy is even more of a toy. This new one has much more realistic human proportions. So let's get a little closer comparison there. You see, this one's a bit taller, but definitely very, very different. And you couldn't really tell initially from the pictures online if these were going to be able to stand side by side or not. But they're very, very clearly different toy lines, different aesthetics. And I still love these original Playmates Trek toys. But this is a whole new thing. And if we can get, like I said, the entire crew in their movie uniforms, that would be fantastic. And then something that is close-ish in scale, but not really at all, it turns out, from the Doctor Who line. So these are not going to be compatible with anything. And then just for fun, there's a Star Wars vintage collection figure that I have not yet opened, just so you can see the difference there. So articulation-wise, let's take a look at this guy. He's got great shoulder joints. He has a swivel at the top of the elbow. The elbow gets about a 90-degree bend, and that's it. But the hands, they are just swivels. They do not have a hinge in them. Which is about what I expected. There is no waist joint. The tunic, interesting, because it seems like the bottom part of the tunic, because this is a hard plastic, although if you can tell, the color matching on this thing is perfect. To the point where I thought, okay, you can see the texture is very, very slightly different on the bottom portion here. So the belt is part of the hard upper body, and then this is a soft plastic here. So he can sit down. So that's nice. And then the hips. Oh, wow. The hip articulation is actually a little more advanced than I thought it would be. So you've got a really nice hip joint there. The knee, as I suspected, it's about a 90-degree bend and a swivel. Look at the piping on the side of his trousers there. That looks great. Paint's really nice on that. Doesn't quite continue here, but again, I'm judging this by toy standards. And for toy standards, this guy is pretty fantastic. If we ever do get any kind of bridge playset or anything, he'll be able to sit in the captain's chair, so that's nice. And then ankles, he has got... Oh, no, this is an interesting variation. So rather than what I call modern toy ankles, he's just got a swivel and then a hinge that goes up into the boot. Pretty functional, looks good. So I am very happy with this figure. I'm not saying I wouldn't have preferred a standard scale that would work with, say, Star Wars Black Series, or even something larger like Marvel Legends scale. But at this size, we get a lower price point and potentially have a better possibility for vehicles and playsets. I think, that remains to be seen, but that's how I'm looking at it right now. Oh, and the hands. Let's take a look at the hands. They are both posed in what can be, sort of a relaxed position, or can interact with his accessories, which we'll take a look at those accessories now. So we have his action base. It's got hexagonal holes in both feet, and he can stand pretty straight up on that. The base is actually kind of a little small, unless you want to do it sideways, which I guess you can do whatever you want. The bases in the original figures were obviously much nicer. He has got his phaser. Whoop, I completely put that in. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. So there should be a little firing stud at the front of that. There it is. Okay, that's the trigger. Doesn't fit in his hand super well, but it's okay. It doesn't fall out, but it's not exactly a snug fit either. And it doesn't, it's not the most natural. Like, he kind of has to do this to get it aimed straight ahead. So not the best work on that interactivity. He's got this wrist communicator, which is interesting. That's just going to clip on over there. And he does have his hands posed so he can kind of interact with that. And that doesn't stay on super well either. And then finally, the captain's log. Well, let's take a closer look at the wrist communicator. It's got buttons, a screen, a little slider there. And then that's the clip for the wrist. And then the phaser. Like I said, there is the trigger. Nice buttons and everything on top. These are completely unpainted. It would be super if they had a little bit of paint on them. But again, it is possible we could get a more collector-oriented line at some point. I think it's wise to launch with the toy line, because then you're going to double dip on collectors who have to have everything. And then this is the supposed captain's log. It's got some little sculpt down here at the bottom, and then he can sort of hold it. Not really. Not really. So the accessories here, not the best in the world. But my concern was the figure, and the figure I am happy with for the price point. For $12.99, I will be more than delighted to build the crew of the Enterprise and to finally have the Wrath of Khan crew. And also look at his physique. Now, granted, he's maybe not quite Shatner sized, but he's also not like super skinny or buff or anything like that. I think they've done a really nice job. I like this guy. I can't wait to get more. And there you go. I'm stoked about this line. I hope we see playsets. I hope we see vehicles. And like I said, a larger collector scale would be cool as well. But for now, I'm happy with this guy. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and remember, I have been and always will be your toy reviewer.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.